No, marry me. So recently I had to buy myself a new phone because my old one broke. And so I decided to get my first smartphone. So, and of course the first thing I did was get some witchy apps for it. And I wanted to review one of them. Let's turn on the phone here and get to the correct side. The one I have gotten is the one named Pendulum Oracle. So the one in the middle there's you can see the little icon for it. So let's start it. And what this is a virtual pendulum. So first let's start it. Um, Pendulum Oracle want to be a little bit thick right there. But basically what you do, you get a screen like this. And that little ball, that's your pendulum. Now you can see it just goes around in a circle. And basically it also says heading, pitch and roll. So you can keep an eye on that. And you just hold your fingers on it and you focus on the question as you normally would with a pendulum. So I can ask, for example, can I have a no? And basically I have found this to be hard to work with. I have all the virtual dowsing tools that actually work very nicely. I have one with dowsing rods for my iPad and it works very nicely. This one I have to concentrate extremely hard to get to give me any kind of result. But that can of course just be that a tool doesn't resonate well with me. That might work very differently with somebody else. One thing I do not like is that it constantly moves. That makes it a lot harder to see any change. Because it doesn't matter, you can put it on a table and leave it there and it will continue to move. So what you see is when it actually changes movement. And since the movement here is random, it's very difficult to know if you're actually getting a result with it or not. That's a problem. Another problem I have not figured out in any adjustments or anything like this is that the pendulum itself is up there. I would much rather have had it down here in the center of the screen. It just looks odd to have it up there. You don't constantly mess with. After that is also an annoyance. In and of itself, this is a pretty good idea because a lot of people who do dowsing have the problem that, and me too, it's very often difficult to know whether or not your result comes from actual uh, an actual psychic insight or if it just comes from your mind. Because you remember the pendulum moves because of micro movements in your hand. And basically there's a lot of different ideas of how you then get information from it. Some says it's your subconscious, some says it's God, some says it's a great energy, whatever your favorite explanation is. How it moves is micro movements. But it can then be very difficult to separate actual micro movement, basically actual results from just micro movements that comes from you wanting a result. A technological thingy that gives you a dowsing experience doesn't take away some of that problem. This one, however, doesn't work very well for me. And like I said, that I don't get a lot of reading from it. It can be that I'm not resonating well with this tool. I have had success with other electronic dowsing tools, so I won't say it's just because it's on a device. But like I said, the problem with it is that it constantly moves. Because, and that's how it's programmed. If it was still, unless you get a result with it, it would be much easier to see that, oh, now it's getting a reading. When it constantly moves, it's very difficult to get anything out of it whatsoever. I have managed to get it to give me replies that has been reliable, but I needed to work a lot with it, and for me it just hasn't been worth it, so I don't use this app very much. Like I said, I don't like it being up there in the corner, up there towards the ends of the screen. That just looks strange to me. And of course, again, that makes it harder for me to connect with the device. But I guess their concept is that you will be holding it like this, holding it down here, and then it's easier to see. So I can't see why they have done it. I just wish they would have had just a simple little way to adjust that. Say I want it here or there or anywhere. And I also can see how you see that where I say pitch and heading, that constantly changes. Yeah, for me, it's sort of useful because it can make it easier to see how the pendulum rolls. However, since that constantly changes and flashes, it can be an annoyance for a lot of people that do need to concentrate. They also should have included something to turn that off. And if I haven't found it yet. So, yeah, it also serves that sound on. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do with that. And it doesn't really do anything. So I can't really see any adjustments whatsoever. There might be things that I can press on to adjust things the way I want. If so, these functions are so hidden that, yeah. Now, for price, it only cost me 7 Norwegian crowns. That will be about $1. So it's not an expensive thing. I mean, if you want to have a go at it, it's not gonna break the bank. But I don't think it's a good program. I think there's a lot of better electronic dowsing devices to get for phones, uh, various data pads, and so on and so forth. So I do not recommend this one. So yeah, and also thing that annoys me is that if I press the go back button, there I press it there. It asks me, "Do you want to go back?" And if I press yes, nothing happens. I have to hard start up again by going there. What did I do now? So yeah, it is named Pendulum Oracle, and I do not really recommend it. It's a okay enough toy, but yeah, I haven't gotten it to work very well for me. Might be it works better for you, but it needs to be. I would have gladly paid more to have a device where I could choose where the pendulum would be, perhaps choose background, choose how I want the if I want those numbers on the top or not, those kinds of things. If I could have made those adjustments and also adjusted sensitivity and all of those things, I think it would have been a much better tool and might then actually have been useful to have a pendulum on the go. Well, of course, I usually have a pendulum in my purse anyway, but yeah, I had to try it. So the concept is good, but this program isn't. And that is my review of Pendulum Oracle, and I have it on an Android phone here. I haven't seen exactly that one on iPads. I'm not sure if they have that for iPhones, but for any Android device, you should be able to get it, and it's not that advanced. It should be workable on just about anything. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this review. Have a great day. Blessed be.